What's up guys, it's Will here again with another movie review, and today's movie is Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising, which just hit theaters today. And since the movie just came out today, us everyday people have to see it when it's actually released to the public, unlike some people who get early screenings to these films. So until I find a way to gain access to these sorts of privileges, expect my reviews to either be out the day of the movie release date or the day after. But anyway, let's get into Neighbors 2 because that's what you're here for, neighbor. So Neighbors 2 picks up pretty much right where the first Neighbors movie left off. After the frat bros are gone from the first movie, Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne find themselves dealing with a different sort of neighborhood nuisance, and that's a sorority called Kappa Nu. We have 3 girls from this sorority that really get any significant screen time, and they consider themselves somewhat outcasts. The whole idea to create a sorority starts from the law that sororities can't party, only frats can. And these 3 girls hate going to frat parties because, well, they're frat parties and they suck for most girls. They want to party, but not with the frat bros and not with other preppy sorority girls either. Now this is a problem to Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen because they're trying to sell their house and they're basically on a 30-day period where the buyers can stop by at any time and back out of the sale if they see something they don't like. Therefore, Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne are trying to get rid of this loud partying sorority because they just bought another house and they don't want to lose their buyer on their current house. This is a slightly different twist in the plot from the first Neighbors, but the result is basically the same. The sorority girls and the quote-unquote old people brew a rivalry, and the result is Neighbors 2. So if you've seen the first Neighbors, you pretty much know exactly what you're going to be in for here. You're in for a lot of partying, drugs, pure raunchiness, and really just a ridiculously wild and crazy show. I personally wasn't too big of a fan of the first Neighbors. I thought it was okay, but I didn't really laugh that much and none of the jokes really landed for me that well. But even though this movie is very similar, I just felt like the jokes were a lot funnier and the dialogue was just more cleverly written this time around. I found myself really laughing a lot at this movie and it was honestly a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. Now, the plot's not great, but you shouldn't go into this movie expecting the next Zero Dark 30 or anything. This is a raunchy comedy that's designed to be just pure ridiculousness and not any plot that your creative writing instructor is going to show you as a shining example of script writing. I will say though that the acting in this movie is pretty damn good. I think just about every character had me laughing pretty hard at one point or another. Seth Rogen is his usual self, so if you like Seth Rogen, this pretty much aligns with his comedic style, and you'll probably like him here too. Personally though, I found Zac Efron to be the funniest character in this movie. It could be because he's just way more likable this time around, but I honestly thought he was really funny in this movie and really good. Pretty much every time he's on screen, he steals the show and had me laughing really hard. Moretz also did a really good job of capturing the feel of a college girl who likes to party. I mean, she is only 19, so I'm sure it wasn't too difficult for her to slip into that role. I mean, it wasn't like Andrew Garfield being 30 and playing high school Spider-Man, or even Rachel McAdams who was 25 playing a high schooler in Mean Girls. Moretz is really good in this movie, and she actually brings a lot to her character. You get some backstory as to why this sorority means so much to her, and why she wants to start it, and why she's willing to go so far to keep it together. Alright, so like I said, this isn't a movie where the plot is gonna wow you. It's really about the humor. That being said though, sometimes the plot just made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever, and the characters did things and reacted to certain events where I was just like, I don't get that. Sometimes the editing was just a bit weird with the cuts too. Most people might not even notice this sort of thing, but this actually bugged me in certain cases where like the actor is talking to the person and in the next shot you might just like see the person in a different position or something. It's just sort of jarring as a viewer. Overall though, I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10 because I actually really did have a very good time with it. I thought the jokes were for the most part pretty funny, although some definitely did fall flat for me. The acting was good, the plot wasn't great, but how many comedies actually have a good plot nowadays anyway? I would personally ignore the critics on Rotten Tomatoes and other sites on this one and actually go see Neighbors 2. I think it's worth seeing in theaters. Either way, did you guys get a chance to see Neighbors 2 yet? What did you think of it? If not, comment below and tell me whether or not you're excited to see this movie. And as always, if you like this video, click that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this one. I have to say though, I really am extremely grateful for everyone who subscribed to my channel so far. I really do love doing this and I hope to do it for a long time, so I'm just glad you took the time to watch and support me at all. Alright guys, this is Will Foxification signing off. See you in the next review.